right, thanks for joining me today. And today we have the pleasure of looking at a 2021 Canadian IMP. And we know that because that is the year. This is a honey garlic chicken, menu number 13. I absolutely love these bags that they come in. Waterproof, sturdy, they're aluminized. You can carry your leftover pieces of your mains in here, extra components, even good for probably toting water if you're in a survival situation. Let's look at the ingredients on the back here. This is honey garlic chicken, and we got chicken, water, roasted potatoes, red bell peppers, sugar, cornstarch, soy sauce, wheat, soybean, salt, honey, garlic, white vinegar, dehydrated garlic, natural flavors, yeast extract, onion powder, caramel color. Contains wheat soy, and this does come with sliced apples in water, sugar, and sorbic acid. All right, let's get into this guy. Now, this main weighs 1 pound, 14.2 ounces, or 856 grams. 2 to 3 of these are issued per day. This is a single meal. I love the little dog bones right here. All right, let's get into this. All right, we have our honey garlic chicken. Comes with heating instructions on the back. Place unopened pouch in a pot of boiling water. Return water to a boil. Heat for 5 minutes. Remove pouch, open at notches, and serve. And they also come in French because that's their native language in Canada. We have strawberry jam. This is 20 grams. Wow, look at this. I've never had one of these. This is great. A Wonder Bar, 58 grams. Let's see the ingredients here. Cocoa Life is our sustainable food sourcing program. That's pretty neat. I've never seen these. Please excuse my fascination right here. All right, a Wonder Bar. That's going to be interesting. Sweet and salty almonds, 50 grams. Hamburger bun, pain hamburger, 57 grams. Pain is the French word for bread, if you're wondering. We have a Nescafe, sweet and creamy, 19 grams. We have our 2 isotonic drinks. I love these. Canadians never skimp out on drinks. Each container goes to 250 mils of water. Both are Both are, I'm not sure what the flavor is. Ice. They're both ice flavored. Ice sport drinks. Then we have our peanut butter, fortified creamy, 20 grams. Sliced apples. And same thing here, heating instructions, not applicable to fruit. We have our beverage bag. Those things are killer. They always work great. We have our Tabasco sauce, and it feels really good. We have our Canadian spork. Those things are killer. Canadian beach towel. multiple napkins. They're very heavy duty and they open up very large. Matches. Our Canadian mint, which is not a mint, it's not edible. It is a compressed fiber towel that you put water on and it expands to a pretty decent sized towel. And of course, it wouldn't be a Canadian IMP without a pack of Tic Tacs. Let's get this trayed up and dive into it. I'm pretty excited to try that chicken. Let's see how this comes out. All right, we're back. And this is quite the spread. We got our bread, apples in sauce, apples in water, honey garlic chicken, sweet and salty almonds, our Nescafe, our Wonder Bar, our peanut butter and jelly. Yep, strawberry jelly, our bread, and our 2 ice drinks. Now I'm going to only consume one because these are pretty fantastic, and I'm going to save the other one for later in the day because they are really a treat. They do not skimp out on the drinks, and they're very high quality, very flavorful. All right, and because these Canadian IMPs don't have flameless ration heaters, they do, but they're issued separately because normally the soldiers do have a mess kit that they warm up their food in the field. But since we're indoors, we're not going to be using any kind of field kitchen. I have this pretty unique Orifo outdoor heater solution, and I've never seen these before. I got these from someone online, and these are truly unique. Look at the size of that heating pad. So we're going to stuff everything in here. It even comes with a little piece of tape to tape it closed. So pretty unique option. If you can find these, I'm going to utilize this for this menu. So let's get this going here. We're not going to use our bag either. We're just going to go right into the drink. So let's, wow, I'm kind of overwhelmed here. Let's see what we got going on here. Let's open that up. Look at that pad. That thing is serious. Seems a little crusty. These were vacuum sealed under extreme vacuum, so you know they're going to last because they're not oxidizing. All right, so let's get our, we're not going to need that. Let's get our main in here. We're going to warm up our bread because who likes eating cold bread? We're going to throw our peanut butter and jelly in there. Warm that up. And I don't think we're going to warm, you know what? Let's warm up the apples too. Why not, right? They'll be on the outside, so they won't really catch all that much heat, but they'll get a little bit. Let's see where our pad is. Not sure. Oh, what am I doing? Our pad's right here. So we'll put this right in the middle. See, right in the middle. And then we'll stuff our bread in between them. And yeah, look at that. You could really fit a lot in there. All right. Let me read this briefly just so I'm not screwing it up. Okay. Let's get our water going. There we go. There's actually a fill line here on the bottom. And let's get this peeled, and I already hear it taking off. Yeah, and it's taken off already. And the water's going everywhere. That thing is serious. Wipe off our tray. We're making a mess. Always making a mess. Make sure that pad gets pretty wet. We kind of did overcrowd it. There we go. Yeah, and we are making an absolute mess here. There we go. Let's get our drink mix made here. Smells really good. I smell blueberry. Sweet and salty almonds. Look at that. It's actually almonds, plain, and then it looks like a encrusted almond with some type of caramelized, cooked shell. Let's give one a try. That is really nice. I've never seen something like that before, and that's absolutely fantastic that they're thinking of troops like that. And this Wonder Bar is looking pretty wonderful. Had a little caramel leakage on the side there, but that's fine. Let me get some warm water for this. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Got our boiling water. Let's that heater seems like it's actually calming down. We're gonna go a light cup here. Give this a mix. I want about 6 ounces. These are always good. For some reason, I always get a hint of coconut. I don't know if it's maybe an MTC oil that they're putting into this, but I always get a very light undertone of coconut. Might be just me, but let me know what you experience with this if you had the pleasure of having these. Let's give it a try. Yep. Wow, look at that. That thing is smoking. All right, let's start off by removing our bread. Wow, look at that. Looks like it actually melted some of the lettering. That's how hot that thing got. Wow. And I don't think that hamburger bun liked the heat. It's actually just crumbling. Wow. This thing's seen some Something's wrong with that. That is rancid. That is not good. Wow. I just took a bite of that bread and something is really off on that bread. That's weird. Well, I hope this is not an indication of what's to come with this meal. Let's pull everything else out. Maybe it was just that one component. Yeah, that bread is really sour and foul tasting. Throw away this heater. That's a shame. Maybe the heat did something to it. I'm not sure, but I've always warmed up my bread components and never had issues. Let's clean that out. Strawberry jelly is nice and liquidy now. Same thing with our peanut butter. It is practically watery from seeing so much heat, which is fine. Let it sit for a moment and it will solidify. Yeah, I'm catching a really overwhelming sour smell from that bread, almost like a sourdough. But I don't think, and this is feeling pretty warm itself. All right, let's get these apples out. Give them a peek. Wow, and they smell good. They really do smell good. Look how bright they are. I don't know if you're catching that, but they are super bright for apples. They almost look like pineapple. That's quite surprising for apples to be that bright. Oh man. Yeah. That bread is foul. Something's not right with this bread. I'm going to toss it because it is not good. Wow, we're making a mess here. Stand by. Okay, we're back. I had to get this food tray over a garbage can because that bread crumbs were literally getting everywhere. Oh boy. Okay. I don't know. Is chicken supposed to be that color? I'm not sure, but let's get it out on a tray and check it out. I'm starting to think that this main might have seen some heat, which is pretty unfortunate. But we won't know until we truly get into it. So it doesn't look that bad. Chicken, I would expect to be a little lighter in color, but who knows? Let's actually try some of this to gauge where we stand. A little piece of potato. Wow, I got hit with a very overwhelming sweet honey flavor. That's pretty nice. Let's try some chicken meat. Yeah, I'm not, no alarm bells are going off here. I think we're good. Let's try a full spoon of both. Yeah, I think we're pretty good here. What a unique menu. The flavors that are going on in here are something that I have never experienced. We have the sweetness of the honey. The chicken is firm, very fibrous. You can tell it's a processed chicken, but minimally processed. We have hints of red pepper, which are not hot. They're very sweet. It's a sweet red pepper. This is really good. I'm really happy I picked this menu. This is pretty tasty. Very liquidy. You can see it's constantly dripping. That is really nice. The potatoes are pretty firm. I didn't think potatoes can be this firm in a retort pouch. I need my napkin here because it's just dripping everywhere. That is a really interesting menu. Very tasty, very light, a lot of flavor, and very easy to eat. I could see this being a favorite among the troops. Let's get some Tabasco going here. And don't worry about the bread being bad. I'm not worried about that. We're going to end up putting our peanut butter and jelly right on that. I think that's going to be fantastic. And we have a decent amount of Tabasco. I don't think it's as much as you would get in the bottle, but it's enough. All right, let's try these almonds again. These things are crazy. What a great idea. I love that the Canadians actually care about their troops and actually think of things like this. This is the kind of stuff we need to see in American MREs. I don't get this, how other countries can do all this stuff and we're struggling. Well, I know what it's about. It's all about that dollar right there. These are fantastic. All right, let's, before this actually solidifies into a really firm mass, let's actually do something with this. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to first put down the jelly. All right. And then we're going to put down the peanut butter. And we're going to mix them together to make a paste. And this was definitely the way to go. Yeah, warming up that peanut butter was definitely it, because it was really hard. Wow, that is looking pretty fantastic. Let's give that a try on its own. That's nice. That's even doable by itself. Wow, that peanut butter is thick. All right, let's get one of these apples. Nice and firm. Got great color. I mean, look at that. Oh, wow. Crisp. It's got a sweet, firm texture. That's absolutely amazing. That really is. That is absolutely amazing. That is really nice warm. I know you're not supposed to eat these. They'd probably be outstanding cold, but gently warmed up, these things are freaking ridiculous. Let's see what we got going on over here. All right, it looks like it's a caramel and some type of nougat. I'm not sure. If you know Let me know what this is. Wow. That's nuts. That is it looks like it's a crushed nut wafer dipped in caramel and then coated with chocolate. That's actually nuts. That is so good. And let's do this. Wow, look at this peanut butter, how it's already getting thick. There we go. These things are fantastic on their own, but with the peanut butter and jelly, oh my goodness, these things are ridiculous. Are sweet and creamy. That is so nice with all this. This whole menu just blends together seamlessly. I'm really impressed. Yep, and adding the Tabasco, you have the sweet undertones of the honey garlic chicken, followed by the heat and the sour vinegar flavor. That's just ridiculous. It really is. I would bet that this can be eaten cold easily. And these apple pieces, I'm blown away. Every single thing except the bread was a home run. I mean, I'm not sure if this is conveying the color on the camera, but look at that. Look how translucent and vibrant that color is. That's absolutely nuts. And they're firm. They're not mushy whatsoever, and they have an absolutely fantastic apple taste. Let's finish off one of the halves of these, because these are absolutely ridiculous with the peanut butter and jelly. Look at the nice chunks of red pepper. Check out the chicken. It looks like it's whole chicken just kind of crushed up by hand. That's unique. Really enjoying this. This is a fantastic Canadian IMP. The red peppers really go well with the chicken. Has a subtle garlic taste. It's not spicy whatsoever. It's actually more on the sweet side. And that Tabasco really brings all the flavors together. I was a little concerned when I saw the bread and the color of the chicken, but I think the chicken has gotten this color from the sauce, but it tastes absolutely fantastic. Very easy to eat. It's not complicated, not over flavored. Really a delight. Okay, this is quite filling. Wow, that is filling. These are absolutely amazing. I'm so surprised that the Canadian IMPs actually come with something like this. This is really unique. And this was absolutely crazy how good it is. Let's do another bite here. Peanut butter, jelly, and the Canadian chocolate bar, the Wonder Bar. And it really does go well with these apples. You can actually hear the crunch when you chew them. They're not mushy whatsoever. I like the Canadian spork. Quite larger. Not too large, nice and long for good reach inside the pouch. Okay, I'm starting to get quite full. Let's finish off this coffee. That's always a pleasure. Okay, I think we're done here. I'm going to finish this up in another hour or so because I'm already starting to get quite full. I can't eat a lot in one sitting. Let's try our Canadian ice drink. Very subtle mineral taste, but just the right blend of dye and sweetness. Perfect to keep you hydrated. All right, so Canadian chicken, garlic chicken. I'm sorry, Canadian honey garlic chicken was outstanding, especially with the Tabasco. That really brought out the flavors of the garlic, the sweet red peppers, the honey. Kind of had like a sweet honey and little tang from the Tabasco. These were absolutely delicious. It's like a sugar roasted caramel topping on top of maybe a third of the almonds. The regular almonds were nicely roasted. There's no salt on this. They're pretty soft. They're not overly roasted where they become bitter. This Canadian Wonder Bar, which is a crisp, like wafer with a, almost seems like hazelnut in it, and a, I don't want to say powdered peanut butter, but there is like a peanut butter flavor in it, and then it's coated in caramel and then coated in chocolate. These are really unique. I never had one before, and it was a total pleasure experiencing this. Definitely going to finish that. The peanut butter and jelly, always a staple in these MRE meals. Gives you good protein, helps you with the making the PB&J. It's a shame that our plain hamburger bun was bad. I don't know how that only item can turn rancid, but it was definitely rancid. Maybe it was sitting out on the top and this saw some heat and that hamburger bun absorbed that heat and then turned. I can't tell. That's the first time I've ever seen a Canadian hamburger bun actually smell like that. No question, it was rancid, but that's about it. I'm going to save this other isotonic drink. I'm going to have it later on tonight because these are a pleasure. You don't often get these, and when I do get them, I enjoy them. So that was my review for the Canadian Honey Garlic Chicken Menu number 13 from the Canadian IMP from 2021. Thank you so much for sticking around this far. If you're still watching, like, subscribe, comment. Tell me what you thought about this meal. Have you ever had a Wonder Bar or have seen these kind of almonds, candy-coated almonds? Pretty unique, right? I've never seen them for sure. So let's check out our hand towels so we can clean up. These are pretty unique. They're actually really good when you have hot water, because now you have like a hot towel, but you just place a little water on it. And look at that. Look how it poofs up. Pretty amazing, isn't it? They're always a treat to get. All right, then you open it up. Oh, damn it. Well, look at that. Yeah, they are very absorbent, and now you could see how much they absorb since I dropped it in my honey garlic chicken. But look how big they are. They are serious, and they are quite absorbent, and you could almost probably take a shower with this if you were in the field. Pretty absorbent, pretty sturdy, and they're definitely pretty large. I mean, look at that. Well, since we can't clean up and I made a mess, that's going to be it. I'm going to have these Tic Tacs in a bit. I appreciate all my subscribers. Thank you again for making this channel blow up, and stay tuned for more content. Take care.